Hello everybody, John Joker 12 back here again, and as I stated previously, I wanted to make more anime related videos. I've been basically at odds as to whether or not I should do one or what my topic should be about in the first place, seeing as how I'm not big on reviews, nor do I want to do a lot, and basically there's not really any new Dragon Ball Z related things to talk about. I mean, like, you can go on the internet right now, but everything you'll see is practically a rumor, so fuck that. So I've been thinking, like, what should I be talking about that's anime related, that I want to talk about personally, give my 2 cents on it. And I thought, why not live action adaptations to animes? And what's the number one movie that could be adapted that I would want to see that's anime? Cowboy Bebop. So I'm going to be talking about the possible live action adaptation to Cowboy Bebop, plus how they should do it, who I want to work on it, and basically asking the question, should it be? And whether or not I should care, I guess. Well, first off, I like to state that a lot of people have mixed feelings with the possibility of their favorite animes being adapted to film. I mean, I can't really stop them from thinking this way, nor do I really care in the first place, but a lot of people have a problem with it. They don't think it should be, and they also think that they just suck. And I will agree that a lot of live action animes have not done well, especially here in America, but it's been going on for years, and practically you can't really stop the Japanese from adapting their own products. You can't do that. You can't stop. I mean, who's going to stop them from doing that? It's a waste of time. And also, you can't really stop from Japanese properties being sold over here and having American audiences buy the rights to adapt those animes. You can't really stop that either. Your petitions won't work, I'm telling you. But that aside, a lot of films have not done well, particularly Dragon Ball. The only thing I really care about, they kind of killed it. And a big problem with the Cowboy Bebop film is that 20th Century Fox has also bought the rights to make a film of them as well. That also pissed me off. Mostly because 20th Century Fox is awesome. They made fucking Star Wars and Alien. How much better is that? But no, they had to fuck up an anime. And they have the rights to make more anime. Particularly anime I personally like. Whether or not they can do a good job is irrelevant at this point, seeing as how they don't have success with anime films. Particularly live action. But seeing as how more recent events have occurred with the creator of Cowboy Bebop stating clearly that the film is going to be made. It's going to be made for an English-speaking audience in America, and he's going to be involved with it, and the project is completely under wraps. It's top secret, no info can be stated. And basically, that's practically it. Cowboy Bebop is officially being made for America in a live action format. And basically, this is me talking about my personal thoughts on that, if you didn't know. Well, basically, rumors have been occurring for years. Since 2008, a lot of people have been saying that, oh, it's going to be made. It's going to be made. But there hasn't been a lot of clear evidence as to whether or not it could, or if it's going to be in the first place. And the topping on the cake of that was the casting decision for Spike Spiegel, the main character of the series. Basically, they chose Keanu Reeves to play Spike. that in and of itself does not bother me. A lot of people have mixed feelings as well. Not only for the making of the film, but him playing Spike. It doesn't bother me. A lot of people are bothered by it. A lot of people don't think he should. A lot of people have put their fan art, I've seen a lot of him playing Spike. Personally, it doesn't bother me. I don't really hate the idea of Keanu Reeves. I'm a Keanu fan. I can say that and mean it. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm not saying that he could do a perfect job, but I'm not saying he's going to do a terrible job. But the thing that kind of debunks the theory is that a lot of interviews has come to light, and he has stated previously, a while back, that the film had been bought and they had screenwriters writing the screenplay for the film, and that he had seen everything that they were doing, seeing as how he was closely involved with the project because he wanted to play Spike, which is also cool. But he stated that the screenplay was amazing, it was brilliant. The problem is that it would cost way too much fucking money to make ever, or anytime soon. And that if they ever did get the money to make this specific story, that he would be way too old to play Spike. That being stated, that if that's true, then most likely, if they ever got this project off the ground, he probably won't play Spike anyways. Personally, it doesn't bother me as much. I'm not saying that I hate him or I don't want him to play Spike. It's just, if he doesn't play the character, it's not a complete kill for me for the eventual film that they would end up making. But my casting suggestions. A lot of people on YouTube in particular have made their suggestions. I'm going to give mine. It's going to be pretty short, seeing as how I don't really have a big list. Keanu Reeves, sure, okay, put it, he's like on a clip note on, okay, maybe, put him on the board. But, let's say that he didn't play the role and he couldn't play the role. I've seen this a couple times on the internet, and I visualize in my head and I think, you know what, that's pretty cool, and that's a good idea, he could do it. And that person I'm speaking of is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, playing Spike. Is that a bad idea? I think he can do it. To me, that's a good fucking idea. Him playing Spike, that's fucking awesome. I would watch that movie. I mean, he's fucking funny. He's a great actor. He has plenty of experience. He is close in the film business, seeing as how he owns his own company and writes and directs himself. And basically, he's just awesome. I mean, like, look at his list of films that he's done: Dark Knight Rises, Looper, Inception. That alone, that fucking sells it to me. Him aside as playing Spike, Jet Black. Who could play Jet Black? A lot of people on the internet had used a specific face of an actor many times. I don't know. To me, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, I can see it almost. But I don't know if it's serious. I don't know. I don't know if people just use his face as a template just to people to get the feeling of like, oh, just visualize this as Jet Black live action. And that person is Bruce Willis. Could Bruce Willis play Jet? Should he play Jet? I don't know. I can see it, but at the same time, like, would he do it? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Jet Black is the #1 character of the series, the main character of the series that I have a real question mark on my head as to whether or not who could play and who should play him in a live action film. Personally, I don't really know. I mean, like, I don't really have a humongous list of people who could play him. I mean, the only person I've seen that I can see it clearly is probably Bruce Willis, but other than that, who else could play him? I don't know. A lot of other people have also posted that more, like, most of their suggestions are African American actors. Seeing that for the first time doesn't bother me, but then after seeing it more than twice, it's like, Jet Black isn't black. I don't know if you noticed, but he's not technically black. And then you have to have a question mark on your head. Is he black in the series? He's not black. But at the same time, like, people keep choosing African American actors to play him. It just makes you think, like, is Jet Black really black? Is he African American, or is he just this weird guy who has a cybernetic arm who used to be a cop? I don't know. Jet Black is most likely #1 character on my mind that I cannot pinpoint who could play him particularly. But moving on, Faye Valentine, another character I don't really know who could play Faye Valentine. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know who could play her. Plenty of people could probably do that. How's it hard enough to get a really attractive young actress to play a character who is equally as attractive, who wears stripper clothes and just goes out all crazy trying to rip people off, and also always gives Spike shit? I don't know who can possibly fucking play that character. I've heard once or twice and have seen multiple pictures of suggestions that fucking Elijah Dushku should play her. I can see it, but at the same time it's like, I don't know if I can see her as playing Faye Valentine. It's not really on my head of like, could she play? I don't know. And then there's another choice that I see a lot is Christina Ricci. That, I don't know. I can honestly say no to that because I've seen her in anime-related films as well. Had not done well. And plus, she doesn't really look like Faye Valentine. She's not like overly exaggeratedly beautiful. And plus, I don't know, her face doesn't look like Faye. I don't see Faye when I see her face. It doesn't really pop on top of my fucking head. So for Faye, I also have a question mark as to who the fucking player. As for the main antagonist, the villain of the series, Vicious. Who could play Vicious? Also a character I don't fucking know who could play. Personally, I've seen a suggestion that personally I can see, and I don't know if it could happen, but I could see it and visualize it. Maybe, yeah, sure, why not? And that is the guy who played Loki in the Avengers and Thor, fucking Tom Hiddleston as Vicious. That also is kind of at odds. Is that I don't know. Sure, why not? Fuck it. I don't know. Could he place Vicious? Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm just saying that I don't know if I can honestly think Vicious when I see him. Maybe I could, if I think of it hard enough, other than what I'm doing now. So, other than that, I can honestly say that for the rest of the cast, other than Spike, I can't really say who I'd want to play those specific characters. Personally, for the rest of the characters, Edward, I don't really care. Anybody can play Edward. Let's put it there. Just fuck it. Edward, I don't know. Who cares? The dog, Ian, it's a fucking dog. We already know who could play the fucking dog. Spike, I've already said who can play. Jet, I don't know. Faye, I don't know. Vicious, maybe Tom Hiddleston, I don't know. Julia. Who can play fucking Julia? There's plenty of fucking, on this fucking planet alone, there's plenty of fucking beautiful, hot, blonde actresses who could possibly play this role. Honestly, maybe, I was thinking about this. I don't know if it could happen or if it should, or I'll probably change my mind, but I was thinking, like, how about Alice Eve? She kind of has a Julia thing kind of look to her. And plus she was in Star Trek Into Darkness. So, you know that there's a thinker there. I don't know. Also, there's the obvious. Why not Naomi Watts? Why not? That's my suggestion. I don't know. That's my suggestion. I don't know. Everybody in the series, I can't really pinpoint as to which actor or actress I could want playing in the film. But Spike is practically it. That's pretty much it for me. As for producers, I don't know if anybody has researched the film as of late, but I've heard a lot of producers' thoughts on the series that the directing decisions hasn't been going well, seeing as how they believe that no real director can take on a project like this. I think that's a very underestimated statement to say, because there's plenty of fucking let's think of this realistically, because Cowboy Bebop, even though it is an anime and set in an anime universe, it's very realistic other than other over-exaggerated depictions of anime. Cowboy Bebop is based around American films, and it has that American, like, westernish city rural, modern day sci-fi feel to it. It's a lot of words to put into a feel, but I don't think it's impossible to make the film, nor do I think that no director could make this, because Cowboy Bebop, I like to think of it as, it's kind of like if you got Ridley Scott and you got Martin Scorsese, you put them together and made an anime out of that. That's what Cowboy Bebop is. When you watch Cowboy Bebop, the series, tell me you do not think of Blade Runner when you see Spike chasing down his bounty. How do you not think that? How do you not think Blade Runner? How do you not think of Travis Bickle when he's at the end of the film shooting out his gun at his head, and not think of Spike once again at the last shot of the series? That's what I think. So doing a film of it isn't out of realm of possibility or impossible in general. I think it's personally possible to make this film and make it look amazing as well. I mean, personally, director-wise, as I've heard previously that they think that no one can really do it, I think that's understated, because there's plenty of fucking directors. Obviously, most of them won't do it because, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get someone like a Spielberg or like a J.J. Abrams to take off what the fuck they're doing right now to do an anime-related film that you don't know whether or not would do good. So, that aside, I personally think if I had a specific director in mind as to direct this film, I personally would want Rian Johnson to do it. For those of you who don't know who this director is, he's the guy who made Looper. And when you watch Looper, you just get the feeling that it is an anime. It just has that anime feel to it. It's very, like, it has a real feel to it. You can buy it, the theory of it, and everything about it is just really cool and visually interesting. And it kind of looks like Cowboy Bebop too, you know? Kind of looks like it a little bit. Personally, I would want him to direct the film. I would also want IOM to do the visuals for the film, because even though it would cost a lot of money probably, but I don't think it's impossible to make the world of Cowboy Bebop. I mean, first off, they live in Mars. And you might think, oh, that's hard to visualize and hard to put. If you watch the series, what happened is that Earth is uninhabitable at this point in time, and all the human civilization has moved over to Mars and have been living on Mars for years now. And you might think, like a visual director would think, like, oh, that's fucking crazy. You can't picture that. But, like, for instance, watch the Cowboy Bebop movie, Knocking on Heaven's Door. If you watch that film, the city of Mars looks like fucking New York. How do you not think of New York or Chicago, for instance, doesn't look like the city that's presented in Cowboy Bebop knocking on heaven's door. It just looks like that. It's like if you took like every major city in like over the world, like Paris, New York, fucking, just put them together. That's what it looks like practically. It looks very rural. It has that very rural look to it, and I don't think it's personally that hard to visualize that and make it happen in a adapted film. Personally, that's my personal thoughts on it. I mean, I don't think it's impossible to make it, nor is it impossible for a director to make it. I personally think a director who knows what he's doing, who has a visual sense of it, can make it. And personally, as to whether or not this Cowboy Bebop gets made, all I can say is that I can't wait, because Cowboy Bebop is hands down my second favorite anime ever. And if they're going to make a live action adaptation, I want to fucking see it. I want to see it. I'm not like most fans who are like hating on it and don't like anime films. I'm not one of those type of people, nor am I against their decisions on making it, because you never know. You never know. A lot of people bash movies of today, bash movies back then that ended up doing well. You never know how good a film can go. A film can go either one of each ways. It can either do very well or it can do very bad. You never know. And to say that it's impossible to make a perfect, excellent anime film is also stupid, because you never know. It could either go one or each ways. And personally, the way I picture it, Sunrise and the creators of the original creators of Cowboy Bebop are working very closely with us, America, to make this film perfect and give it that feel of the series. So, if they're involved, and they're very closely involved, then I don't see how like this project can do any worse than what rumors and people think of it already. They haven't even seen it. So basically, I guess, guys, I'm going to end it here. This video is kind of going on and on. Basically, my overall feeling is that I don't think it's impossible to make an anime film, but I want to know other people's thoughts. I want to know, do you think anime should be adapted to film? Do you think it's impossible to make a good anime film? I mean, manga is Japanese comic books. If American comic books can do as well in the big screen, the fucking giant silver screen, then why can't Japanese comic books do it? Why can't manga and anime do just as well as American comic books of today? You just have to have the right people working on it. Personally, I think that this Cowboy Bebop could be amazing if they have the right people working on it. But I guess I'm going to end it here, seeing as I've been rambling for a while. But basically, my overall thought is, my personal thoughts of the series and its adaptation is, I can't wait. You know, I can't. Is it going to do well? I don't know. A lot of evidence of previous films hasn't really been well, but I personally believe that it's not impossible to make a perfect and amazing anime live action film. I don't think it's impossible, and I think it could be done. But basically, guys, I'm going to end it here. This has been my live action Cowboy Bebop personal thoughts. I personally want to know other people's thoughts on whether or not it should be made, or if it could be made, or if it could do good, or who should play Spike. I know a lot of people have their thoughts on it, and personally I say Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I say Rian Johnson should direct the film, and IOM should do the effects for the film. That's my personal thoughts on it. And that's going to be it.